Hello, I'm Commissioner Jeff Vicks coming to you on January 21st, and I say that because I'm wearing my Ohio State garb. We just won the national championship last night, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Very exciting time. Personally, my first grandchild entered the world on Friday, Elena Jo, for my daughter Jessie and her husband Jordan. Very, very excited about that. Got to hold her for the first time yesterday, and that is a life-changing experience. Big things going on around Fairfield County, and I wanted to take a little bit of time today just to talk about, my vision for the coming year and probably the coming years. And, all of us as commissioners are working together to bring some version of this vision to reality. So appreciate you taking the time to hear me out today. Last week, there was a big announcement. We, for 2 years now, have been working on how to deal with the ripple effects of Intel coming to Licking County. And on Friday, a bigger, badder Intel was announced over at Rickenbacker Air Force, which is actually a little bit closer to Fairfield County, closer to Lancaster than Intel is. So that too will have ripple effects. And so all of the work that we've been doing to try to prepare for all of that now has an even higher sense of urgency. So let me take a step back and talk about, why we started down this path. And really, it goes back to a speech I made at a State of the County a couple years ago. It was all about addressing generational poverty. And, that's a really broad topic and hard to pin down. But we've kind of broken it down into things that we can do as county commissioners in conjunction with our friends in the industrial community, in conjunction with our state partners, federal government, really reaching out to everybody that we can to attack these issues. So the first part of it is attracting more and better jobs. Well, our economic development team, led by Rick Zabrak, has done an amazing job of that. We've got more jobs coming into Fairfield County, and as we look at the impact of what Intel will bring and now what Andrew will bring, we know that there will be suppliers and others that want to come here that will bring great jobs with them. So we've spent a ton of money and time and effort, and the state has been very generous with their help in our Workforce Development Center. And so we're now in a position where we can really effectively train people in skilled labor positions that will go directly towards these jobs at Anduril and Intel, and really our own folks here in town who own businesses who need help as well. We recently had a ribbon cutting for a technology portion of the Workforce Development Center, partially funded by Intel, right? So we're doing all these things to make sure the jobs are here and then get people trained up so that they're able to have really good, well-paying career jobs throughout Fairfield County and perhaps in other counties as well. We are working to build places for all those people to live, right? We don't have enough housing in Fairfield County. Any of you who have tried to buy or sell a house here recently know that. Anybody who's tried to find an apartment to live in or a condo or a patio home for a senior, those places don't exist, or they're in such high demand with such low supply that the prices are unaffordable for most people. So we're trying to build that inventory, working with all the townships and villages and the development groups to try to get everybody to come together and make Fairfield County a reasonable place to do business for the developers so that we can have housing that is reasonable to buy for all these people who will fill these jobs and for really all of our residents that live here today. I've got a son, lives up in Akron, wants to relocate to Central Ohio. He's a nurse. He's got a nice job. Cannot find a place to live in Central Ohio. Cannot find a place that he can afford to live. And that's, a story that I hear on a regular basis. A kid graduates from high school, gets a nice skilled labor job as a carpenter or a plumber. They're staying in mom and dad's basement because there's no apartments to rent. So we have to really focus on development of housing across the spectrum in Fairfield County. And you guys have heard me talk about that for years now, and it's an ongoing effort. We are getting a lot of positive momentum, and I'm grateful to the township trustees and the village mayors and councils who've been working with us on this. It's a heavy lift for a lot of those folks, but they've been really working at it and trying to understand it, and we're making good progress. We have to, for a lot of folks, find a way to help them get to work, right? I think it's easy for most of us to take for granted, I've got a truck, you've got a car or a van. When you need to go somewhere, you just grab the keys and go. Not everybody has that good fortune, right? So there are people who would love to go to work but don't have a reliable mode of transportation to get there. So Commissioner Davis has led the charge to improve that situation. We last year made an agreement with the City of Lancaster to buy their Lancaster Fairfield Public Transit. We're working on improving the transportation capacity and availability around the county in partnership with some of our business owners, right, who recognize that they need more labor, and that situation could likely be enhanced if there was a more reliable, easier, more cost-effective way to get people to work. We want to help with daycare, right? We recognize that there are people who would like to be in the workforce but can't afford it because realistically the cost of putting a child through daycare today is as or more expensive than paying a mortgage. That's not feasible for folks who are working in skilled trade jobs. So we have to find a way to do better with that. So we've been working with our Education Service Center Director, Dr. Marie Ward, our State Representative Jeff LeRae, and now we have elevated that to the state level to offer to be part of a pilot program to test countywide daycare and doing what's called the Tri-Share plan, which is a 1/3 paid by the business, 1/3 paid by the parent, and 1/3 paid by the state. Don't know if any of that's going to come to fruition, but we sure are working hard at it and feel like we're gaining some momentum in that as well. Things that we need to, further down the road, the benefits cliff, and that's something that's really a statewide or federal issue where, once people start to earn a certain amount of money, they lose benefits, which ultimately we want everybody to be off benefits and making enough money to contribute back. But there are a lot of people who are in a situation where their income doesn't allow them to get off of those benefits. When they get a slight raise or even a decent raise, that can strip away those benefits. But the cost of having now to pay for daycare when it used to be free or less expensive, not being on food assistance, not being on any kind of assistance, isn't matched by that pay increase. So that's where the cliff comes in, and we have to figure out how to help people get to a point where they can afford to live off of all those benefits and are making enough money that they're not suffering financially because of it. So those are things that are down the road, and that's all just poverty. Other things that we're looking at is we look at 2025, maximizing the support of our elected officials. We're very fortunate here in Fairfield County that we've got a great group of leaders, all the way from, hopefully the commissioners are looked on that way, but really all of our elected officials, our judges, sheriff, prosecutor, all the folks, right, who are elected do a great job and do a great job of working together, and that's a little bit unique to Fairfield County. And so we want to continue as county commissioners to maximize our support for all those folks. We want to continue to maximize our impact on boards. So one of the things that I discovered when I became a county commissioner now 7 years ago is that the county commission appoints or funds or both 23 different boards around Fairfield County. All those boards are served by really good people who are volunteering their time and their talents. Almost none of these are paid positions. In fact, I don't think any of them are. It's a big deal for people to take their time away from their family or their job and give their talents to these boards. We want to continue to make sure that we're making the best appointments we possibly can, and we are grateful to all the people who apply for these jobs. And we want to make sure that we're supporting all of those boards who do so many good things all around Fairfield County. We want to continue to lift up the townships and villages. We've always said that stronger townships and stronger villages make for a stronger county. We have a great grant program that we are funding that provides the townships and villages with free access to grant writers and really free access to the knowledge of what grants are available. So far, we've brought in over $3 million to Fairfield County through this program. So we're really proud of that and look to continue that for all of our townships and villages. The work that we're doing on the housing development, on really all the development, working with townships and villages on residential, industrial, commercial. We redid our land use plan, comprehensive land use plan, and made that available for the townships and villages. They're now pulling down from that and creating their own. Some are copying directly from what we have. Some are totally redoing it, and that's great. The idea is that having a plan is necessary and will allow them to take advantage of the development that comes their way. So we're really excited about that. Our Regional Planning Commission, also funded by the commissioners, just created a model zoning, which lines up with that plan so that all these townships and villages, some of whom haven't touched their zoning in 40 or 50 years, don't have to hire somebody to redo it. It's already been redone. They can take pieces of that. They can take all of it. They can adjust it to their own needs. But all of that baseline work is being provided by the county commissioners so that it's affordable and reasonable for townships and villages to go forward. So we're really proud of that work. We're really trying to set the county up for long-term success. Our time in office is small. And when I look at the list of all the folks who have served as county commissioner over the history of Fairfield County, I realize that we've got a really brief time here in office. And, I'm trying to, and I know Commissioner Davis and Levesey are as well, trying to do everything we can to set the county up for long-term success. Commissioners Davis and Levesey did a great job of setting us up financially. So that when I came into office, we didn't have to worry about where the dollars were going to come from for this project or that project. Now we have to look at, countywide, how can we work with those townships and villages and the boards and our elected officials to set Fairfield County on a different path. It helps that there's 10,000 jobs just to our north, and there's going to be another 10,000 jobs just to our west. Those are moments of good fortune that we need to take advantage of, right? Not every county is doing the work that we're doing to try to prepare for that. And the last thing I'll say is, I work on the board of the County Commission Association of Ohio, and that gives us a voice to have influence at the state level with our state legislature, and that we want to also make sure that across the county, in townships, villages, school boards, and countywide offices, that we're doing everything we can to make sure that great people get elected. This is a great time to be a county commissioner. We're very fortunate. We've got a lot of great things going on. I am proud to serve with Commissioner Levesey and Commissioner Davis. Consider myself very fortunate. We have an amazing staff. I appreciate the opportunity to serve you. Thank you and God bless.